Okay, it's 2023, decision 2023, and we were with Tijesu Adeoye, Maduguri, Borno State. We can cross back over to Tijesu. So hello again, Tijesu. Yeah, you were giving us a report then. Thank you very much. We had to cut away. But in the distance there, I don't know if I can see some uniforms because I guess that's me asking about security. Is it, as you expected? The security up and running there?
Yes, Yuri, if you can see behind me, you can see a number of police officers right behind me trying to ensure that there is law and order in this ward and also in the polling units. We understand that in Borno State alone, 13,000 police officers were deployed to this town to ensure that there is law and order. And also we can see if you go across to the road, you can see police officers and, security agents under different parastatals, scattered across just to ensure that there is no one that would disrupt the process today. And so far so good. Everything has been calm. The people of Borno State have maintained law and order. I believe that everybody is just looking forward, to the outcome of this election, and they are behaving themselves, if I must say. So far so good. Although the process is yet to start, because we can see that the electoral officers, they are sorting out, the sorting and distribution is currently going on right here in the ward, and from here they'll proceed to the polling unit. So far so good. Everything is calm and peaceful, and law enforcement agents are on ground to ensure law and order. So there's peace currently.
Okay, as you say, so far so good, but people who would have been a stickler for details would have expected that if only the INEC officials had arrived earlier in order to do all these preparations, then perhaps, theoretically, we could have started voting on the dot of 8 o'clock, but it's not to be. I guess, we'll take what we can get, hoping that it will be sooner rather than later. We've just gone past 8 o'clock now. 8 o'clock was the time, and yes, INEC officials are there. So maybe in another half hour, possibly, do you think, Tijesu, in another half hour, maybe, hopefully it won't get up to 9 o'clock, but if it will, what do you think, from what you see? Hopefully. Okay, then. Okay, Tijesu.
From what I see here, this process, the sorting process, already started like an hour before we got here. So I think they are finishing up now, because the security agents were all around this place that I'm standing, but now they moved towards that side. And we understand that the election commissioner is on ground currently. So I believe they are receiving briefing from there. After that, they will proceed to the polling unit. So I believe by the time they proceed to the polling unit, the elections will start. So going by the INEC schedule, the election is expected to start at about 8:30. So I don't think they are really behind time. So if we should just give them a few more minutes, I believe they will keep to time, and the elections will start. So the process will start.
Great then. Thank you very much, Tijesu Adeoye in Maiduguri, Borno State, for us. So we are very much on course in Borno. 8:30 is when you actually want to start operations. And so INEC has been there even before them, as Tijesu was saying, in that particular location. I'm sure by the time we are able to cut back to Ayodele Ozubakun later, the situation would have improved dramatically from where he was on his own lonesome, so to speak. Now, Solomon Ajuzi Ogo is another of our correspondents up and down the country. He's in Umuahia, Abia State. Good morning to you, Solomon. Bright and early. It looks bright. I don't know why it's brighter there where you are at than some of the states we've been to. Anyway, what's the situation report there?
Well, we're here at the main center of INEC, and we are within the last 30 minutes window, less than 30 minutes to the official start of the polls. None of the batches for all the wards, for any of the wards, none of them has set out. They are still all here. We've been here for more than an hour waiting for them to make the movement. This is the center where materials and officials for Umuahia North and Umuahia South will be setting out. The ad hoc officials, the INEC officials, they are all here trying to make the movement. But if the polls are going to start at 8:30 and they are still all here, they haven't moved, the first set of staff to come out with the beavers, the ballot boxes, the ballot papers, have been here at some point seeming to bicker over sorting. Some of them have effectively sorted out, but they are yet to move to their centers, and it's just about very close to the start of voting.
Indeed, it is, because we're looking at about in another 20 minutes odd is when voting should start. But everything from what you say, Solomon, appears to be, just the way it should be over there. Apart from your concerns about if they're still here now, we will be able to make the 8:30. But I wanted to ask about security. I've been asking it with all our correspondents that we catch up with. Is that as you expected it to be? Is it all looking quite secure? No signs of any untoward activity?
No. Interestingly, we've taken our time to go to Factory Road. Factory Road is where you have, is within where you call Afara Ibeku, the very home of the founder of IPOP. It's safe there. There's a polling unit around that particular place. It's been very peaceful here. The people have been eager to see this election come, especially now they feel that they have a stronger stake than a lot of people. It's safe here. The security here is high. Sometimes I begin to feel that where we are right now, a very secure location, that the number of security men and women here seem to be more than the number of INEC officials, party officials getting ready for this poll. You can see the black and blue of the police. Then you have stern-looking, combat-ready soldiers here also. But importantly, we are beginning to see the movement from the rack, people carrying the ballot boxes, the officials carrying the ballot boxes on their head, and about to get into their cars, into their buses, to move on to their center. But the concern will be valid the way you raised it, that, okay, by the time you get to the wards, the polling units, one of the things you are going to say is that you are going to still take time to set up the polling unit before the proper voting starts. At one of the polling units we've been to, we've seen that some officials or party officials are there waiting, and we wondered why it's taking so much time to get all of these things together to get to the polling unit so that voting will start at the time we have scheduled them to start.
Indeed. Okay, thank you very much. It's 8:11 now. 8:30 is the target. Thank you very much, Solomon, our man Solomon Ajuziogo in Umuahia, Abia State. Of course, we'll be touching base with you because it's all of our correspondents. We have the correspondents up and down the country, and we just be circling so that we know what's going on at a given time. It's just gone 8:11 now. Solomon is wondering that will we be able to meet with 8:30, but it doesn't look like it, but still.
Well, it's fine. I want to share gossip with viewers.
Sure.
Behind the cool facade, Yori Folani is like a small boy going to a football match. I want viewers to know how excited you are about this thing.
You know,
we won't admit it.
Shouldn't one be excited? Because look how well it's going so far.
Touch wood.
I was just touching wood a number of times.
And everything.
Look how exciting it is. Because we waited for this day.
Yes.
And so much is riding on this election.
Yes.
A smooth transition. We don't want any unforeseen events, and everybody is working towards that.
Yes. Smooth thing, which is a good thing. And I haven't had something to share with people as you're going to your voting units. If you can, remember, of course, to take your card, your PVC, because you need that for validation. Sunglasses, if you have, for the sun. Drinking water, and maybe power bank for your.
Okay, now, sorry, those pictures are showing in Umua here. The election materials arriving there, at the ward. So.
There you go. Yes. So for those of you who are still at home,
these are live pictures.
These are live pictures. Yes. They're going there. So yes, we're getting close to the hour.
You know, in Imo State there, where there were apprehensions, now everybody, as I think Solomon was suggesting it, that everybody is coming out knowing that, everything is okay now.
Yes,
I can come out.
because the security is there.
Because the security is there.
Because they've been assured. That's the whole point. When you provide legitimate and superior force, the state wins, and people are reassured. It's as simple as that. It is because the state was not present. That is why the other side has won. So yes, people will go out and vote.
So, I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
Just wherever you are now, you're just seeing that. Here you are. This is Imo State. These Umar here. Live pictures, and this is the scene at this time. Of course, the 8:14 it's just gone 8:14,
yes.
And we're all looking towards 8:30. Maybe we'll be checking who was able to start on time, who wasn't. But whatever be the case, we have been assured that this election will proceed as planned.
As planned.
And it's okay for Anthony to tell me that I'm excited. He's as excited as I am. Well, never mind, he's doing a better job of masking it. Because this is, so much is riding on it, not just for the country, but also for the region.
Yes.
You know, God forbid anything should happen in Nigeria, where Nigeria is the largest country.
No, for the world, actually.
In fact, yes.
The world will feel it if something happens in Nigeria. And people should know that that is why the international community is interested in what goes on in Nigeria. Because they don't want on their hands emergency Nigeria.
We can't have that. We can't have a crisis.
They can't.
No,
people
can't have a crisis.
They want to keep us there. Whichever way we want to manage ourselves. And make sure the best gets out of it.
I think it's been quite impressive. We've been hearing from the police bosses, the civil defense people. We've been hearing from just about everybody that we are committed in place and we are going to do our job.
Yes.
And they
sound confident.
Yes.
They sound confident as well that they've covered everything.
In fact, the numbers are almost unprecedented of these security personnel that are being deployed. It's all to discourage any kind of untoward activity. But if any should come, they say that we're more than ready to handle it.
To deal with it. And we should appeal to voters as they go out as well to please be calm, not to be rowdy, to know that eventually it will be their turn, to be friendly towards each other.
And that everybody will actually have a
chance to vote.
If you have your PVC.
As long as you have your PVC. No need to push, no need to rush.
You
just be there calmly and you will be counted and you do it.
And of course, there will be guidelines for them. There are no phones inside the booth.
No phone inside the booth.
All that kind of thing. Yes. And, you know, the point has been made that there will be no unnecessary personnel around the place, giving rise to unfortunate happenings. None of that is going to happen.
It's going to happen because, as a matter of fact, I mean, the way the system is designed, technically you might not even need party agents, but you know, it's a tradition we have.
Yes, it's a tradition we have. I think Mikey Guinea was explaining that yesterday.
Yes, yesterday. Yes. Because that's the joy of digitalization. It reduces the human factor, which is whims, caprice, and discretion. But
there was some concern. I think I saw a report about some people with technological gadgets, computers, maybe antennas and vehicles, all of which were, I think one of the parties sort of raised the alarm.
They were going to crack the system.
They were trying to see if they could intercept signals, election result signals. But in any case, the police is investigating the matter.
And
one of
to
the
find out,
yes.
But I think the rest of us at the civil society, we need to start thinking that election manipulation and rigging is as bad as a coup. It's it's a vulnerability, it's a violation, it's an attack on the sovereignty that belongs to the people when you try to manipulate it. And I think it'll be treated as a very serious crime. Those are the kind of things that will save our sanity. So far, I do not think any politician has been jailed for election rigging in Nigeria.
No, that hasn't happened. And
yes, and I think we need to start thinking along that lines.
Indeed.
To show that you rigging election is a bad thing.
It remains to be seen with the police announcement that they had arrested a guy, a politician with $500,000.
Yes.
As you just said, we've not heard about any prosecutions.
Yet.
And, you know, yet.
For early days, let's see.
Yes. So
if we keep reminding them, let's see what happens. So one person has been caught with foreign currency somewhere, I think in River State.
Yes,
In
yes.
River State.
That was
Then
River
some
State.
people
half a million dollars, almost.
Almost. Then
You
some
know,
people in
just
Lagos
about
with
100,000 short.
Yes, some people with some millions.
And
in
then
Lagos.
some million mint naira currency in Lagos.
In Lagos.
But no information about that.
So I argue that those people should be identified, named and shamed and prosecuted. Or at least prosecution does not make conviction.
Just name
Give them a chance to explain
Exactly. Name
why did that
people
government
to show a
come,
zero
what they were planning
tolerance.
to do with it. When people are queuing to get the money and they are holding such, at least in possession of such.
So this is one thing that I think the authorities can sort of count a sort of a measured success so far by what they've been able to tell us.
Yes.
You intercepted $500,000
dollars
in one state. You intercepted, I think, in Lagos
About
State,
$500 million or more.
No. It was
about a quarter of a billion.
It was about
Is it 24?
30-something million naira. I'll get that figure.
Not a lot then.
Not that much. Certainly nothing. No,
But it's not more than people are queuing for
it doesn't hold a candle to the $500,000
that was found somewhere.
That one will run into billions.
But given the quality, the qualitative amount versus the quantitative amount, new naira notes. At the time people are queuing for 2,000
That is
naira.
the point. At the time we were
So I think
queuing,
you must multiply it by 20.
I mean, people like you accepted. I mean, most of us can't boast of having that money in our pocket. But
No, what? I don't do cash anyway, so I don't have it anywhere.
Yeah, so this election is coming along, handsomely, I believe. Even though it's early days yet, 8:30 is when it should all start. We're at 8:20 now,
Yes,
and
well,
people are optimistic. Yeah,
yeah, but I think it's going well. I mean,
is.
we
It
shall
is.
soon see, because in many places across the country, INEC are there already. We just saw in Umaya, they're going there soon.
Sharon Ejason, our correspondent, is in Awka, in Anambra State. And let's see if we can link up with Sharon. We've just come out of Imo State. I wonder if we can also check out Sharon. In any case, as soon as Sharon is ready to tell us what the situation is there, we'll have her on. But as you said, we're crisscrossing the nation, and we're finding that people are moving towards that time of 8:30,
yes.
and the
Sokoto
progress
is
is fine.
definitely
The progress is well.
We can see Sokoto people are there.
Sokoto people are there.
They're
exactly.
ready to go.
We were
Umaya, people are
exactly. Even in Kaduna, where we had Sarah Ayeko,
Yes.
in Kaduna, things are working. But that crowd we saw was in where? That was in Umahia.
It's out in Umaya when they were getting out the boxes.
Yes, when they were getting
on their
out
way
all
out.
those boxes.
Yes.
So we're looking good. It's just gone, we're almost at 8:30, and we'll see who will be able to start around that time.
Yes.
You can't. I don't think you can start before. I don't think.
No, you can't start before.
And it doesn't want you to start before.
No, maybe slightly later.
Yes.
But you should be ready.
You should be ready. Should be ready and be able to start at 1 minute past, and maybe right up until half past. We probably have to allow. Unfortunately, it's not a military operation. If
Well,
it were
it
a
should be precise,
if
though.
it were a military operation, they would start at 8:01.
This is habit. This is something we need to imbibe. The idea that 8:30 means 8:30.
8:30 minutes exactly.
So I think, beyond this, but starting from this, one of the things we need to imbibe in our life is that if an event is due to start at 8:30, it doesn't mean we should arrive there at 8:30.
No.
It means we should arrive there slightly before 8:30 so that by 8:30 somebody says, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, but people don't, just like I think it was Sarah who was telling us in Kaduna that people just seem to be coming, people around the corner say, look, are they there yet? No, they're not there yet. Maybe they can tell the people at home there, no, don't worry, no panic, no panic.
But you see, it's a catch-22, but I think people should do their bit. Institutions should do their bit in being on time. As long as as long as INEC is there,
yes,
the rest doesn't matter.
Because in fact, INEC will drag everybody there.
Exactly.
If INEC is
Once
there,
they see that they're
and
there,
if INEC is you know,
People will
sitting,
comment,
cross their
yeah.
legs because they've set up, done everything by 8 o'clock. By 8:30,
But the problem is the consistency, like airlines. The day you're early, they will be late. The day you're slightly late, that's the day they like to go on time. And they tell you, no, you can't check in anymore. So we just need consistencies so that institutions should prepare their bid, institution hosts and organizations doing anything should be there on time, then people will start adapting to it. I think that's
So what we're doing is we're crisscrossing across the nation
Yes.
as we sort of count down to 8:30. We've seen, you know, observers, Nigerian observers, also
observers.
there are African observers, and there are even some European
observers from the EU, we are from the Commonwealth, we are
yes.
from the AU. Everybody's here. There's like
Because everybody's concerned about the situation in Nigeria. Let me cross over to Sharon Ijason now. Sharon in Anambra State. Good morning to you, Sharon. Sharon, we can hear you, we can see you. They gave us a tantalizing view of Sharon and took it away. Sharon, we just saw you, a glimpse. Anyway, as soon as it settles down, we'll sort of be finding out from Sharon what we've been finding out from
other people.
from other correspondents, how things are going and how well, how far INEC has prepared. Is INEC ready there or not? Okay, we'll get Sharon as soon as is possible. But for the moment, we've heard from, you know, our correspondents in Kaduna, you know, where else? Yeah, Kaduna North, I think. We were hearing from Kaduna North. Solomon gave us the dope in Abia, Umwa here. DJ Adeoye in Maiduguri. And we're actually, well, we're not exactly waiting on, but you know what I mean. Sharon is in Anambra, and we want to be hearing from her. But from the picture that I just had a glimpse of, I don't know what happened. It was a blip. It was on, and then it was off. She'll be back again. And Tony, we've moved. We're now somewhere around 8:25. Just 5 minutes more. 5 minutes more to the time.
4 precisely now.
Exactly. Okay, let's try Sharon again. Sharon Ijason, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
Finally, you can hear us. Great.
So
Good morning to you. Sure. Carry on, please.
Good morning. A lot has been happening here at Anambra, Awka. As we speak right now, we have INEC officials on ground. They arrived at about 5 minutes past 8, whereby they came in with sensitive materials. They've set up the table. They've set up the space where the beavers would be in use. This is Agulu Anyocha local government, which is one of the 21 local government area in Anambra State. So everything is set. In some few minutes, voting will start. We have some voters ready to perform their civic duties. We can't wait to see what the day would be like.
Sharon, that we have some voters waiting to discharge their duties. I can only see about 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3. The guy in white, the guy in blue, and one other guy in a check shirt. Is that the beginning of a queue? Or those are
yes, there are a lot of people here. We have lots of media presence here, and so that's why we have a lot of people. We have people blocking the scene.
Those are
you can
pros.
see
Those are not
one
necessarily
co-member, 2 INEC officials. Then on the left-hand side, you will find voters that are ready to perform their civic responsibility. They came in at least 30 minutes earlier behind the schedule. So it's going to be an exciting day, despite the peculiarity of Anambra State being in the southeast and us knowing that there's a little bit of insecurity. We still have people that are ready to perform their civic responsibility. We have about 5 million people that actually registered, and just about 5,000 persons did not collect their PVCs. So that's quite a large number of people that will perform their civic responsibility is today.
Indeed.
And of course, aside this polling unit, there are some other polling units whereby INEC officials have arrived. And it's a bright day. We are going to, Nigerians will definitely decide who the next president will be of the country.
Indeed. So INEC is on ground, they're set up, they're ready. As you say, they're just waiting for the time. So as soon as 8:30 strikes, they probably, what you're saying is that where you are at in Anambra there, at 8:30, they can begin in another, what? Is that another couple of minutes or so?
Yes.
Well, actually,
yes,
1 minute
they are
now.
ready. These
But
polling booths
they
here
are
in
ready.
Anocha,
Gratifying
local
to know.
government, yes, they are
In
ready.
Anambra,
They're ready.
INEC is ready, the people are ready, and, thank you very much, Sharon. Anthony, you were chuckling there because you see now, Anambra is ready.
Anambra is ready.
Anambra is ready.
Anambra is good. So the stage is set.
It is. It is.
And I do hope people realize that we the voters are protagonists of today. Even though we're voting for candidates, we're actually the one making the decision. And perhaps governance and leadership should start from us, with us in the way we behave in our polling unit. So I insist on this because for some reason, there are too many people in the country that have a penalty for being rowdy unnecessarily. People who would want to join the queue, people who would get nervous and angry and push and shove. So I'm hoping people will not do that as they go out to vote today. Let us just calmly take turns to do everything.
Okay, now, let me look at this. It's 8:30 a.m. now, and right about this time, polling will commence across the country to elect the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 109 senators, and 360 members of the House of Representatives. Our correspondents are live from many locations to bring you situation reports and interviews on TVC News all through the day until INEC announces results. As well, you know that we have in studio with us Professor Anthony Kila. But we'll see. We were saying that we'll see where they actually can start. Yes. Sharon was, we just came away from Sharon about a minute ago.
Anambra is ready to go.
Anambra is ready to go. Yes. We'll also be touching bases with all the other people.
With all the other states
yes.
there.
Yes. There's so many first-time voters.
Yes.
That's another thing. So it's a sort of commitment and a belief in the process that you have so many young people coming into it. Until now, they didn't. Yes. Can that be as a result of all the INEC evolution?
Well, I think it's partly two reasons. Number one, because the availability of information, because the platform of interaction has shifted majorly from the physical old people door to door to the internet, to the social media.
Even though they still were doing the door-to-door.
Even though they were still doing door-to-door. But a lot of emphasis has been
You're right.
And there you meet the young people and they're interacting. And I think secondly, because INEC, funny enough, INEC is speaking the language of young people. Because all this digitalization is what they get.
Exactly.
And
they
what
get
gives
it.
them faith.
They get it without breaking a sweat.
Without breaking a sweat. So in a way, that has sort of attracted them to the situation. So it's understandable. And kudos to that.
Now, as that caption says, 87 million Nigerians are going to be electing their new leaders, apart from the president and, of course, his running mate, 109 senators, 360 representatives. Yes. That's the fare today. And you were pointing out earlier, Anthony, that, look, in addition to the presidential candidates that you all know, yes, take a look at the senatorial and House of Reps people. Those people are crucially important as well.
Absolutely. Because important as the president and the vice president are, they're not going to operate in a vacuum. But let me just say very quickly, in fairness, when you look at the 87 million citizens to vote, even if they're 18 million, for any organization to deal with 80 million Nigerians in one day, it's not an easy task. So let's go easy on INEC.
Okay. Let me, at this stage, in crisscrossing the country, we've stayed up north and, in the southeast. Now let's look at Lagos. In fact, Surulere. Emmanuel Ajayi is in Surulere. And hello, Emmanuel. Good morning to you. Give us a situation report of your location.
Good morning, Yori Folari. Well, right here at State High School, here at Eric Mott in Surulere. Accreditation and voting is ongoing. You can see eligible voters here are ready to cast their vote. You can see the accreditation is ongoing here. The security operatives are also on ground to ensure a smooth process of this particular election of the presidential and the National Assembly election. In fact, the INEC officials got into this particular polling unit exactly 7:30. They were quite early to ensure that there are no glitches or any form of hindrance for this particular election. You can see security operative. My cameraman can just pick one or two of them on ground to ensure smooth process. We still have some electorate also checking their names on the register there. And at this particular polling unit at Eric Moore, you can see that there are two units here, Unit 1 and Unit 2. You can see eligible voters. This is another polling unit where eligible voters are indeed ready to get accredited and start casting their votes. It's a seamless process here. Things are moving on smoothly, and we hope to see an end to this particular election in Nigeria, devoid of any form of challenges.
Indeed. Thank you very much. When you look at it, Emmanuel, just tell me about security. I've asked everybody about security. What's the security situation like there?
Oh, well, the security situation here is in this mood. You can see operatives are indeed ready to ensure a smooth process, devoid of any form of violence. Well, we met them here quite early enough to ensure a smooth process of this particular election. And I spoke with one of them. They reassured us that, well, we're here to ensure the safety of lives and property.
All right,
for this
then.
election.
Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Emmanuel Ajayi, our correspondent in Surulere, Lagos. There, he said, Anthony, that INEC was there 7:30. Yes. Now, that's the kind of thing we were talking about. That
yes.
look,
for them to be ready.
Yeah. So that, and they actually have started. It's underway.
You see, this is logical. If you're prepared, you'll be on time.
Indeed.
They go together.
So INEC was there. They were able to start, we're just, how many minutes? We're just about 6 minutes
about
past.
6 minutes, and they've started the
and they've started. So that's very, very promising.
It is like promising. And as I was saying, it's important to notice that any institution or organization that would deal with over 18 million Nigerians in one day is a lot. When you look at it that way, it takes a lot.
Okay, let's cross over from Eric Moore in Surulere now to Zaria in Kaduna State, and our man Lupe Asom is there. Fine morning to you, Lupe. Lupe, good morning. Okay, Lupe will come on because he's there, and we want to know what's going on. I'm particularly I want to know if they've started or if the Eric Moore station is going to be the
outlier. Champion. And whilst we're voting, you raised a point. So we're voting for president and vice president today, but the advisable that people also look at their senators and the House of Rep member they're going to be voting for.
Let's come back to that point.
Yes.
Let me make contact with Lupe. Lupe Asom in Zaria. There you are. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Yori.
Give us a report, situation report. Well, give us a situation report. Has it started yet? Because we have, past 8:30. Has it started in Zaria yet?
Well, I'm in Tudunwada Ward, polling unit 21, where the vice presidential candidate of one of the political parties will be casting his ballot. And we were here quite early. We arrived around 7:30, but then we are yet to see any INEC official here. Security operatives are not here at the moment, so the process is yet to begin. But then we have seen the people are ready. They have come out. They are all ready to begin the voting process or the accreditation process. But then the INEC officials are yet to be here. It's already 8:30. according to INEC schedule, the accreditation and some of the electoral process is supposed to begin. But for now, we're yet to see the officials right here. But the polity is calm at the moment. Kaduna State has about 8,012 polling units, and 584 of them are situated here in Zaria. But for now, the INEC officials are yet to come to this polling unit.
Do you actually have people who want to vote there now? Because you said you've been there.
Yes, there are a lot of.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. A lot of them, I've gathered. Some of them, they have just moved to some locations. You can see, we just turned to this side. You can see a couple of them are there. The women are there. Some are also. They actually came quite early. Some of them had to go back because the INEC officials are yet to arrive this place. So this is the situation. This is just a view of what is happening here at the moment. But
Okay.
INEC officials are yet to arrive. So that's the situation.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Lupe. But just before you go, security-wise, even though for the time being, it doesn't look like there's very much need for security, but still, what do you know about the plans, the security plans in that place?
Our police was posted to this place said over 16,000 security operatives, that's talking the police and sister security agencies, personnel were deployed to Kaduna to monitor the situation and ensure a peaceful conduct of the process. He warned that anyone who is caught trying to compromise the process will be arrested, prosecuted, and severely dealt with. For now, there's skeletal movement. There's not so much movement of vehicles. People are basically trekking and moving about, some of them trying to get to their polling units. So the place is calm, and security agencies have actually warned that they would not tolerate any attitude or any behavior from anyone which is capable of compromising the elections.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Lupe. We'll be back to you as soon as there's much more to report. That's a bit worrying, isn't it? 8:40, and Lupe was just telling us that as far as it's concerned in Zaria, they haven't seen INEC at all. And when you compare that with Eric Moore in Surulere, Lagos, Eric Moore is a street in Surulere in Lagos. In fact, it's a road, I think.
Well, I'm hoping that there is somewhere in the country where there's a situation room for INEC, where
yes, there is.
Some people are monitoring all their polling units, which is doable, either state by state or centrally. And hopefully somebody will have seen this report to know that things are not going on well there. And hopefully somebody will step in. Because ideally, in a project like this, you should have clusters and heads of group that are in charge of making sure that the unit
and
works.
what the reason is for the absence of INEC at this late time.
Yes.
Now it's 8:41, just gone 8:41.
No reason is valid. At this time.
None.
Because this is something you should have planned for. You know the distance from your office to where you're going to, so there should be enough time to live there, and this is important, including contingency time.
Yeah, but the roads are what they are, as you know.
It doesn't matter. You calculate it.
Yes, but what I mean is that
and there's no traffic today.
There is no traffic, so
yes.
they
so
should have
if
the
you
easiest time
exactly.
getting to the different.
So if you know you want to be there
venues.
by 8 and it takes you 30 minutes, you simply leave at 7:20.
Yes. Look at the Kaduna. This is going back to Zaria.
This is Kaduna.
Yes, this is Kaduna.
Yes.
Going back to where where Lupe was reporting. And
they're waiting.
They're actually waiting on INEC. INEC, I'm sure, is seeing this. Even they have their own streams, their own situation room, and they'll be getting their own report. That they are finding out why our INEC is quote unquote missing in action.
You see, I'm hoping the way this thing ought to be done is this: while the rest of the society, the rest of us, we the citizens, we have an official start time, which is 8 p.m. I'm sorry, 8:30 a.m. You're there. INEC should have the departure time from center, setup time, testing time, then activation time, where they actually go live.
All of which they actually seem to have done when you remember the
in all the
report we got from Surulere.
Yes,
because and then also there are other locations where our reporters told us that INEC was there before us.
Before us, exactly.
You know.
So
But then you have a situation.
well, let's hope
such as-
a situation like this is an exception. Let's hope.
Yes,
that.
yes.
But it's a bad exception that
It probably is. Yeah. And you can see people waiting around.
And you see, the problem is when people start waiting around, they get restless. First, they get worried, and they become restless. Then bored and maybe go away or something. So you can hope to avoid that.
Yes. So
amazingly, though, we talk about this woman churning out to vote. All these seems to be men, though.
For now.
For now.
It's
so
women.
so.
Well, I don't know. Kaduna, I don't know. Maybe women don't walk around anyhow. Maybe there'll be an, you know, because we've heard this, that people come and peep, so to speak.
Yeah.
And
to see what's going on.
To see how far, what's going on.
Yeah, but the profile we're seeing are young males that are out there.
That's right.
And these are perhaps the ones that can go and see.
Deserted streets, because the streets should be deserted.
Yes.
There's no movement, no vehicular movement. So, again, let's leave you with a collection of pictures captured by our correspondents across the land on this 2023 election. Okay, welcome back, and we're looking at all things election today. TVC Decision 2023 studio has been open from 6 o'clock, and we can now cross over to our correspondent in Kogi State. I don't know if it's in Lokoja, but our man there is Theophilus Elama. Good morning to you, Theophilus.
Good morning, Yuri. I am currently at Agasa, that's the polling unit where Governor Yahaya Bello is built to come and cast his ballot. Now, since morning, we've been moving from Lokoja all the way here, and we realized from Lokoja, first of all, security operatives were stationed at strategic areas to forestall any form of illegal movement. In fact, roadblocks were mounted at different checkpoints everywhere to ensure that people do not go out and we don't have illegal. Of course, we also saw that ad hoc staff were moving when we moved from different areas. For instance, in Lokoja INEC local government office, we saw a lot of ad hoc staff, the POs and the APOs, being transported from the INEC office in the local government office in Lokoja down to the various polling units in different parts of Lokoja. On our way here, we saw several polling units at Gaminana polling units area. We saw from polling units 8 to 12, INEC officials were already set, and people were already lined up as at 8:15. They were already lined up to cast their ballots. Of course, behind me, you can see that people are already set to cast their ballots. They have lined up. First of all, they have to check their names at the polling at the INEC register there. They have to check their numbers there. From there, they will come here where INEC officials are already set for them to cast their ballots right here. And of course, everything has been going on quite fine. Security operatives have been doing their job to ensure that all goes on fine in Lokoja.
Okay, well, even though we are, in good enough time, we have, 7 minutes to 9 now. The ideal would have been 8:30, but that wasn't possible. But they are about to start now. Actually, voting has commenced in, polling has commenced in other areas. But you seem as close to it in your location, but you were telling me it's not Lokoja. That location is not Lokoja, right? Where is
it's not
it?
Lokoja. I'm actually at Okene, Agasa area. I'm at Okene quite right, but this
Okene?
is Agasa
Oh,
where
okay.
the governor, yes, where the governor is going to be voting.
Okay. So, but INEC is there, voters are there, the governor is just one other voter, so you're waiting on him. Surely people are not saying that he must vote first. That's not the reason there's a delay, is there?
No. That's not the situation. Yeah, like you can see just behind me, people are already lined up to cast
Exactly.
their ballots.
So
No one is waiting for a VIP or anybody to come and give him way to cast his ballot. And it seems like this will be a peaceful area to vote. Of course, when the governor comes, it just might be the prerogative of the people to just allow him cast his ballot. But as it is here, everybody is doing their thing and everything is going on quite fine. So they are orderly lined up as well. And of course, ensuring that once the election starts here, they will be able to cast their ballots. And of course, everything, they believe that everything will be peaceful, right here. Of course, the detachment of police officers are already here. The governor's crew is here. Everybody is here to ensure that this area is safe. And not just this area, but the whole in Nigeria.
Explain it to our viewers at home. As you were speaking, Ayo Zubagun's voice was bleeding in from, and I know that Ayo's location is a fair bit away from you. But it's good to know. Security seems to be fine, and everything seems to be hunky-dory now. Well, apart from that matter, but we will be, hearing from Ayo properly. But there was a sort of a little bonus of his voice bleeding through. So thank you to Theophilus Elamar there. By and large, we're not doing badly.
No, we're not doing badly.
We're not doing badly.
And also because whilst it is good to start on time, it's also important to note that for the amount of people who are ready to vote, the system is holding well so far.
It is.
We haven't begun to see that very long queue with nobody there to attend to them. So let's hope we keep going this way and improving. Is what we should hope for.
It will, I'm sure, because INEC seems to have been learning from every election
that
yes,
they have exactly.
held, and they then add on the knowledge and the systems that are necessary. 8:30 is when voting is supposed to start. Was supposed to have started. It has indeed started. At least we've seen one such location on camera here. No doubt there will be others that we haven't been able to televise, but everything seems to be going well for now. Apart from where we got information that, and that was Zaria in Kaduna, that, yes. Well, here we are, we're waiting on INEC. We've not seen anybody. That must be of very great concern to INEC. Why is Zaria in Kaduna like that? But apart from that, it looks like no hitches. Shortly, we shall be able to also talk with, some of our guests from our studio. Apart from Tony, Dr. Anthony Kila, Professor Anthony Kila, beg your pardon, Professor Anthony Kila, who is here with me in studio. Our other studio, Abuja studio, we shall also be touching base with that and see if we can talk to anybody there. But Anthony, by and large, it's according to plan.
Yes, so far everything is according to plan. Security is there. INEC is ready to go. Where they're not immediately, I'm sure they're on their way to most places now. Anywhere they're not, it's an exception. It's about 3 minutes to 9 o'clock, and people have started. The people are online. The queues are shaping up, and a lot of places the process has started.
In any case, it's very early. This will be the very first tranche.
Yes.
And I imagine that as we approach noon,
yes.
We will now be at the height of it.
Coming out, yes.
And in any case, once you're on the line, it doesn't matter how long it takes, you will vote.
You will vote. And people should know that you will vote, and there will be no need to push. I want to say this, no need to be rowdy. Although we also should appeal to INEC people as well to be quick about it and respect people's time. But people should we should go there with a mindset, once we all go out now to cast our vote, we should go there with a mindset of knowing that I want this thing to be a success.
Indeed.
I will not be provoked. and I shall not provoke.
And I hope most people who want to vote were able to actually get to their polling stations, because some people were phoning in a question that, you know, when I registered, I was at venue A, but now I'm at venue C, and how can I get to venue A? Well, you can't get to venue A if you didn't go and sleep over.
Yes, it's can't. If it's so far away.
And it's
but
not
you ought
far
to know
away.
by now, yes.
But
if it's,
exactly.
Your polling unit should be walking distance from wherever you are.
It should be.
And really, you had a duty to make sure it is.
We don't know it as. I want you to give me in Daura. Why are you not giving? You can't hear me.
This is the live coverage of Television Continental, reaching you here live from Jimeta in Yola State. And from Jimeta in Yola State. And this is the Assistant Commissioner's quarters, where the former Vice President and his wife so about now is going through the process of accreditation. He got here 5 minutes ago and to be accredited at his polling unit Ward 12 at Commissioner's quarters. This place is called Ajia in Jimeta, Yola State, North. The Vice President, former Vice President, rowdy session from the security media men around across the world, and he has taken his ballot papers and is about to vote now. Voting proper is about to start now.
This is not good. This is not good.
He has been accredited and he has been handed over 3 ballot papers. 1 for the presidency, as I told you earlier, 1 for the National Assembly, I told you, and that is 1 for the Senate, 1 House of Representatives. And At about now, the former vice president is going to cast his vote after going through the process of accreditation. I told you earlier that this is the Assistant Commissioner of Police quarters in Hajia here in Jimeta, Yola North local government here. And at about now, open secret ballot process of printing after being duly accredited. Yes, this is the moment we've been waiting for. After the process of accreditation, he's just about to exercise his franchise. One for presidency, one for the National Assembly, that is one for the Senate, and one for the House of Representatives of this particular district.
Okay, a composite screen there. You got pictures on the left of your screen is Adamawa, and that's the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar voting there. And on your right is Lagos, and there's Senator Oluremi Tinubu at her polling unit as well. You know, just a composite picture from, you know, Adamawa to Lagos here. These are live pictures at the moment. Yes, so you have Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on, you know, in Adamawa. He's on the left of your screen. Oh, well, now you can't see him, but that's the picture there. And then that's Senator Oluremi Tinubu there on the right of the screen. Again, in place, ready to do the needful. Maybe she's going to be getting the ballot forms and fill it in for the three of them, as I was explaining. It's the same all over the country. They'll be looking at the presidential election and also the National Assembly elections. Two of them, the House of Reps and the Senate of the Federal Republic. Yep, it does look like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has finished. All he has to do in any case is just press 3, you know, who he wants for the presidential office, who he wants for the senatorial, and who he wants for the representative. And that's the same thing that's going to be going on here as well.
We know who the 2 of them will be voting for.
We can only guess. Wink, wink. We can only guess. So these are live pictures, and standing by patiently. We don't have information as to what this polling station actually is, but it's Lagos. We were at Eric Moore earlier, but now we were at Eric Moore earlier with our correspondent. This is a different...
to start. This
I think they're about to start here. At Eric Mall, they were very early. They started in fact, they were very much within time. Now, let's go back to Yola and see.
I think to the extent that it was meant to stop vote buying, I think it's a worthwhile exercise. But then I think as far as the accessibility of the new currency to the ordinary man, I think it needs to be, more needs to be done.
Can you tell us your expectations, please?
Your expectations. You've just voted, and we want to know what you expect from this 2023 presidential election.
I am very optimistic. Very optimistic.
Your expectations for today?
Every environment has its own challenges. So I think we don't expect uniform expectations all over the country.
What is your expectation specifically from this election? Pretty contested.
Well, I expect that this is a more credible process, than previous ones, and I think it is good that we are improving with every election cycle.
Mai girma waziri ya kaji da wannan kuri'a da ka kada yanzu.
To na zo na jefa kam.
To me kake fata daga ƙarshen wannan zabe da
fata na shine samun nasara.
To mai girma ka gamsu da irin matakan da zabe yake tafiya akai?
Ba laifi dai yanzu kam.
To amma kuma akwai magana kenan a ƙasa.
To wata kila sai mun ga yadda jifan kuri'a ya abin nan.
Amma kamar fitan masu baturan zabe ya dan yi jinkiri, kamar hakan ya zo muku da dan matsala misali?
Ba matsala.
Thank you. Please, can we start moving? On the session with the former Vice President and the candidate of the People's Democratic Party just completed the process of exercising his franchise at the commissioner's quarters here at Jolanath, local government, Jamaica here. This polling unit is called Polling Unit 12 at Ajia, and a lot of his fans, journalists, security agencies are scampering to have the attention of the former Vice President as he's still granting interviews. This is the live transmission of TVC News, reaching you live from Jola here in Adamawa State, northeast Nigeria. And this is one of the polling units across the 21 local governments. And the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, just exercising his franchise, about to take his leave. Beiba. It was a rowdy session, but he expressed confidence in the system and expressed satisfaction at the beaver system. He got here at about 5 minutes after 9, and he was able to vote after being accredited along with his wife, and the 3 ballot papers were handed over to him, one for the presidency, which of course is a candidate, another one for the Senate, Upper Legislative Chamber and the National Assembly, and the 3rd ballot paper for the House of Representatives. Just told you that the former Vice President and the candidates of the People's Democratic Party just exercised his franchise at Commissioner's quarters here.
At the head of the queue. She's at the head of the queue because she got there first, you know. She's at the head of the queue there, and they are waiting. I'd love to be able to hear what exactly has brought about this state of affairs. But in the previous venue location where we saw Alhaji, well, yes, this looks like Eric Moore. I don't know. I don't know if it is because this might not be Eric Moore.
They're voting in Eric Moore, right?
The voting is ongoing in Eric Moore. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was able to vote, and I think he left the venue just before we cut away from there. Now we will determine Senator Oluremi's actual location. I think there's a polling station somewhere close to the Bodilon axis, I do believe. It must be within walking distance of Bodilon, which is her residence. But you know, we'll get that. We'll get that for sure. She herself seems to be getting a bit impatient. She just looked at her watch, and we have 9:20, and so she's probably wondering. It started at 8:30, or should have started at 8:30. And here we are on the queue at 9:30. I wonder what's holding us up. I'm no doubt she would have made inquiries, but this is the situation. Some places, it's a mixed bag. What's that? Oh, I see. I see. Okay, for you dog lovers out there, don't know what that is, if it's an Alsatian or if it is whatever it is. But somebody walked into the place, and no problem with animals, and the animal is chilling anyhow. Back to Senator Oluremi Tinubu at the head of the queue there, waiting for INEC to just be ready to, you know, for her to vote. She will be voting in 3 categories: voting for the presidential election, voting for the House of Reps election, and also voting for the senatorial election of her choice. So these are just pictures for us to know, and we've cut again. Well, the other picture you have just now is in Katsina. I believe it's Katsina, Daura, and the president is expected to show up very shortly to vote. That's usually, well, the good thing with presidents is that you usually know what's going to happen with them in terms of the itinerary. So they know here that President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to show up here to cast his vote very, very shortly. So that's a polling station. So you got, you know, Daura on the left of your screen. Is it? Yes, on the left of the screen as yes, we are looking at it. And yes, on the right is Senator Oluremi Tinubu at her polling station in Lagos. The president expected in Daura. Everybody has moved home. So the president registered in Daura and has had to go back there.
We see some excitement in from Falomo.
Okay, now there's some it's Falomo. What was Mrs. Tinubu clapping about there?
I think because the INEC people are there.
Okay, because the INEC. She was clapping for them. Yeah, she was congratulating INEC for arriving.
Yeah, they were they're applauding them because they're about to start, I guess. So they're applauding them.
Okay, so while we're waiting for them, let's leave all of that. We'll come back to it. Let's take some updates from our correspondents on this election day 2023. Okay, as I said, take some updates from our correspondents as soon as I know, because we have correspondents all over the country, and as soon as I know which is ready. Okay, here we are. So, okay. So, Jesse Tafida in Borno there. That picture was in Borno. Let's see. Jesse, good morning to you. What's the situation? Give us a situation report. Yeah, you have a nice, calm street there. So what's happening? Where are the people? Where is INEC?
Thank you so much. Just beside me here are INEC officials and the people queued up to cast their
Okay.
ballot. It has started already.
Oh,
At
you just wanted a
8:30
clean
a.m.
picture.
And this is alleged PRO. Yeah, because of the reflection of the sun, that's why I'm here. So to give you updates, this is Allergic Carry 004 polling unit, and we have about 514 registered voters here. And it might interest you to know that a lot of people here are youth, and most of them are will be casting their ballot for the first time. And I was speaking with some of them, and you could see the excitement on their faces. They're talking about how they are here to exercise their franchise, how they will contribute their quota in electing someone that will stay the affairs of the nation for the next 4 years. And it might also interest you to know that across Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, we have over 2 million registered voters, and they are all out. When I was coming down, I saw an old woman. She's 71 years old, named Yakaka. She said she'll be trekking a kilometer to her polling unit. And I was asking how she could do that. She said with the help of her son, because she would want to go herself and vote, because she said this voting exercise is one of the elections that they've been praying for, and they are praying for a peaceful election. They hope that it will end in a success.
Okay.
And let me give you update also on security.
Jesse, 1 second, please. If you can hear me, I just saw some. I just saw some people that look like officials. They were carrying paraphernalia. Are they about to set up, or are they? Did you say that they were set up already? They're about to set up.
No, where I am now, they've set up already, and voting has already commenced. And I spoke with some people that have started the voting process. They commended INEC for bringing up beavers, because they said this is one of the machines that possibly made the voting process very fast. I was here since 7 o'clock, and now the voting has started 8:30. And about 25 people have voted already.
Oh,
and
okay.
they're very happy.
Great.
They said this is one of the most fastest elections they had so far.
I see. Okay. I just thank you for clarifying that. So please go on.
I want to give you updates also on security architecture.
Sure.
Yes. Because of the Boko Haram insurgency, a lot of people tend that the election will not be peaceful. But it's different. People are out. We have heavy security presence. And if you could hear the sound, we have some aircraft, that's military aircraft hovering down the state, heavy policemen and men of the NSCDC, correctional services, customs service, they're all out. And people are coming out peacefully, and they're happy because of this heavy security presence. It's giving them hope that they can come and exercise their franchise peacefully. And it's one of its kind, according to voters.
Okay, you landed there. You were telling me, you were telling us about a 71-year-old woman. Great, but I wanted, because I was going to ask you about what do you think the age distribution shows about those people that are coming out and wanting to vote. Do you see what's the composition that you see? Youthful people, middle-aged people, old people, such as you have given us an example of. What's the mix?
Well, for the mix, we have massive youth, a little bit of middle-aged people, and then the elderly ones. That is why I said when I was talking to this 71-year-old woman, she has some friends going around. They are old, and they said since democracy till now, they've been voting, and this election is different according to them. And for the youth, it's the first time of them voting. They're excited. And then for the middle-aged people, I think maybe 30 to 35% of them are out here. But people are out massively in Maiduguri, capital of Borno State. And it might also interest you to know, not that out of the 27 local government areas, 2 local government areas will not be conducting the election at their own local government areas because of security issues. But they'll be conducting it at neighboring local government, that's Ganze and Mongulu.
that one that you've just explained, that they'll be conducting it in an alternative venue, how is that? Is it going to be today? They will be bussed over, or how is that going to work? Oh, they will be bussed over.
They've already been bussed over yesterday.
Okay.
I was making some contacts yesterday, so they've been bussed already yesterday. And then for this morning, they've already.
And it's as a result of security. Okay. Okay, now we've cut back to Lagos. From Borno, we've Jesse Tafida. Thank you very much, Jesse. And we've cut back to Lagos. It looks like the process is about to begin because we saw somebody arrive and was speaking to the queue, the crowd there, the people that were there. There you see Senator Oluremi Tinubu advance and begin the processes.
Hey. Hello? Yeah.
But then again, these things have to be done properly. That's Senator Oluremi Tinubu there, undergoing accreditation. We saw her thumb printing, indicating her preferences. I guess most people can guess who her preference is, especially in the case of one of them, who her preference might well be. But then, you know, it is what it is. So that's Senator Oluremi Tinubu there. So we need to see. Well, she was, I don't know what's going on. She was seated before, but maybe she's just about ready to move onto the section where she is able to actually cast a vote for her candidate of choice. Accreditation ongoing for Senator Oluremi Tinubu right now at her polling station. Okay, I was wondering about the two hands. So she was helping herself.
Yes.
It wasn't somebody, you know. So it's even an exercise. It's a teaching exercise.
So there are two steps to
Anthony
it.
Kila was telling me that, was telling us that two stages, three actually.
Yes.
There's the presidential, there's the House of Reps, and there's the
senatorial elections,
yes,
which we need to take all seriously.
Now they're doing her biometrics.
Yes, the biometrics. That's the finger, then the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, the iris.
And
accredited. It seems she's been accredited.
Yes. And with the picture, I think the eyes, well, they didn't ask her to take off her glasses.
No, it doesn't need to, the way it goes.
But the iris.
The iris, yes, it picks it up.
And no two people are going to have the same pattern or the same design, pattern, just like you don't have the same kind of fingerprints.
Yes, fingerprints. So they're going to confirm the fingerprints and the iris to match.
Mm-hmm.
This is good so that those who are planning to do something dodgy will stay at home, because if it's this way, it's not possible.
Yes, it's not.
So the thumbs, the fingerprints are verified, cross-checked with the iris, and then once you're fully accredited, you're given your voting papers, the ballot papers. In this case, as we were saying, 3 different papers are given, one for the presidential candidate, one for the senatorial candidate, and one for the House of Reps candidate. So there's 3 of them.
What's it? छोटी boy.
In Daura, we're still expecting to see the president. We were there earlier. We expect to see the president. He's being expected at the polling station there. Okay, finally, that's the last stage. That's the last stage with Mrs. Tinubu. Now, cutting over to Daura, there's Daura, Katsina. The president is expected to vote there, just as we are seeing Mrs. Tinubu vote privately. You can't see who she's voting for. Neither is she holding any phone there to record how she has voted. All of these things are not acceptable. You try it, people will see what you are doing, and you'll be ruled out of order.
The 3 votes, please.
Now, the final stage, depositing in the appropriate containers her votes. She's double-checking it there. She's double-checking it there. Is this the right one? There you go. Falomo, Lagos. Any disqualification of
from
votes.
our own votes.
Let them not go and say, well, you put it in the wrong box, so we can't count it. Okay, so she has completed her vote. I don't know how long it took, but we have just about a minute to 9:40 now, and we really must get a move on because we've seen all the other people. We're still expecting, maybe we'll see the president also cast his vote in Daura, Katsina State. But for now, Mrs. Tinubu has just, Senator Oluremi Tinubu has just completed casting her vote. And that it was pretty graphic there. It's the same all over the country, but you saw what she went through.
Yes.
I don't know, when it was with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar,
yes.
Was it just in our imagination, or did it seem to move a bit faster over
No, his
there?
process was way faster.
His process was way faster.
Smooth, yes.
So I don't know, maybe they're going to catch up.
Yes, they need to play catch up. The people managing the votes need to be faster. Let's be clear about it.
They have two options. They couldn't capture my fingerprint, but they were able to capture my picture, which is, they said they have those two options. If not, the process is fine. It's fine so far. I guess so. I guess so, because, when they started that, and it's just within a minute, I'm done. So I think it's all right.
So what are you looking forward to at the end of the day?
It's all in God's hands, and let His will be done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So she has finished.
Yes.
She's cast her vote. It went smoothly, but there was a challenge.
There was a challenge with recognition,
capturing her fingerprint.
Yes,
but then, they were able to capture her iris.
The iris, yes, which is how that turned out to work. It's one of the two, yes.
And so, apart from that, her assessment was that, it
went well.
It went well.
That's the joy of digitalization, honestly. It might have some itch here and there, but it's transparent, it's reassuring.
So there's sort of a redundancy.
Yes.
If you can't get the fingerprints, we could get the iris.
Yes,
if any of those Vivas machines, I was hearing INEC chairman say yesterday that they even have
extras put by the side.
Yes, they have backups.
That's the joy of digitalization. It allows you to plan in detail. And when you're involved in the process, because it's an automated process, you're not at the mercy of anybody's whims or caprice at the moment. You can see the process and you feel you're having a fair treatment. That's the joy.
Indeed. And it's there. Everybody could see it.
Could see exactly.
Transparent. Daura, we're waiting on Daura because we hear that the president is expected at that polling station that we keep on showing you the picture of. Maybe the president is running a little bit behind schedule because you usually know where the president is going to be and in a matter of minutes. And so we were advised that the president would be at that Daura in Katsina polling unit. Is this it? No, we've switched over to Delta, and the governor, Okowa, is about to cast his vote, and then we went to the color bars.
We're all over the place.
No, we're not. That one was what it was. But that's Governor Okowa there, just about to cast his vote. So we're really crisscrossing across the nation. The point is that it is really underway now. Voting has started. I think I heard Ayodele Ozubagu's voice telling us that with the vice president, he arrived at a little after 9.
Okay.
The voting started at 8:30. He arrived at a little after 9. Now this is Governor Okowa. This is over in Delta, and he's about to cast his vote. We have 9:43 now. Why we're mentioning the time for now is that it should have started at 8:30. In some places, it did start at 8:30. But, this is what it is. I think we'll sort of, the numbers, the engine is beginning to hum a bit more uniformly.
Yeah,
yes. So here we have it.
So presumably Governor Okowa has done his accreditation. He's been handed over his ballot papers, and he's proceeding to vote.
He's going to go, yes, he's going to go in there.
Yes.
Thumbprint as he likes. Lord knows who he'll be voting for.
Again, I suspect we might have a good guess.
But just as we've seen.
Sing here. Stop speaking when you say stop speaking. When you walk out, you don't come back from
Henry, call and make it for me.
Okay, so as we were saying, Governor Okowa casting his vote there. Interesting, maybe a bit of humor. He actually asked people to move away.
Yes,
you know,
so
just move away, please, so that I can. Now he's ready. You know, yes, that day has arrived. Here we are on the 25th of February. Is the day that we're voting for both the president and also for the House of Assembly. You know, candidates that are preferred. There you go. Don't fold it in on the face of the polling sheet. Otherwise, it might go and deface or go and print itself on somewhere else, looking like you voted for two.
But you know, quite frankly, let us say this thing, moving forward, not for today. Yes, people should be careful how they fold their papers and how they thumb it. I also think INEC should look for a way to look for a paper that is not so delicate. We need to find a process. In some countries, it's just pencil.
Well, exactly, in some countries. Again, okay, I think Governor Okowa is saying something. Let's see if we can be quiet and hear him.
Okay, can we move on? Thank you so much, but can we be a little bit more civil? I want to thank you. I've just cast my ballot, and I thank God. You can see that both voting centers here, we have large crowds out here, and we thank God that the reports we're getting is the election is fairly peaceful and everything is working, everything is on course. We definitely are very certain that the People's Democratic Party will win the elections nationally because we put in a lot of work, and we have put out a document there, are covenant with Nigerians, and we believe in what we have spoken to Nigerians. We are not deceitful in what we do. We are prepared, a prepared team, a prepared party to take charge over the affairs of Nigeria. We do know exactly that at the moment, Nigeria is not working the way it ought to work. But we are confident that working with all Nigerians.
No. Okay.
It is difficult to stop a politician from campaigning.
Really, I was a bit surprised at that. All of that was, technically speaking, out of order.
Well, yeah, they should he should just talk about his vote. I think
he should just have spoken about the process.
I think it's understandable.
But again,
you can't really stop him.
But then if you look at his principal, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
But he didn't.
He didn't.
No,
he handled it, but Governor Okowa added a bit of partisan politicking in there.
He's not an Alhaji.
You know, which is, that was a bit unexpected. But, you know, things happen.
But it's fair game, this thing. I mean, he's on the ballot. I mean, his face is enough to be a campaign.
Yeah.
And I think we shouldn't get oversensitive about this thing.
If morning shows the day to me, here we are. This is the 25th.
Well, this is it.
And look how it is moving.
Yes.
It's moving so well. As one of the most popular songs in Nigeria now says, so far so good. And I won't add the rest. But everybody will be able to add the rest.
By himself. Yes,
so far so good. So it's really, it's encouraging. Everything seems prepared. We have started off. I'm sure the teams that are the anchor team and the guests that come after this, they will be in the real thick of it. We started at, we opened the studio at 6 a.m. Voting was supposed to start at 8:30 in at least one of the places we've been. It did start at that time. Other places, it's been a little, after that. But by and large, all the places that we've touched have all now begun voting. It is underway. The whole process is underway. Everybody expects it to be a success. The chairman of INEC said that He expected nothing less. It will be a success. He said, and that interested me when I was listening to him on television yesterday, that we are exactly where we wanted to be at this stage, showing that planning and actuality
are meeting. And that's
they're
a
actually
good
meeting.
statement from the leader of an organization or a project. For you to
Exactly.
be able to affirm that, it's a very reassuring and encouraging thing for all.
And very shortly, we'll be, giving way for another team. But it's been great to. You said you're speaking about the excitement. Yeah, 25th of February has come. There was apprehension for whatever reason, but everybody seems to have forgotten that a bit. I think Atiku Abubakar even spoke a bit about that.
Yes, and he was,
whether or not he said the right thing is being done for the right reasons, and but here we are. So it's.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a plus. We don't look at these little things because when good things happen, we take it for granted. It's when bad things happen that we actually notice it. But it's an achievement from the country that a date was established and the date was respected.
Yes.
Because do not forget that in this same country we've had elections postponed, which I was vehemently against each time they postpone election.
That's
because it's a very terrible thing. It's costly, it's destructive,
Yes.
and it's not respective of citizens and people, and it doesn't speak well of the country.
It doesn't.
So it's a good thing that
the one place where elections were postponed because of the unfortunate death, killing.
Yes, in Enugu East.
Yes, that one, the election was postponed there for that very good reason. But now it will be consolidated with the next election.
Yes.
So
So in a way, the sad event has not been allowed to overtake everything.
Exactly.
Just moving on that way. Yes.
So there's a sense in which we say morning shows the day. We've started this way. I guess a lot of Nigerians will be happy that it's looking good. It's looking good. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of the figures, the analyses, as we go. And of course, with all the correspondence TVC News has all over the country, we'll be hearing of happenings, what's going on where, and we'll be factoring that into our studio discussions. But the process is underway. Yes, 2023 is underway now. But why didn't we get to see the president voting? Maybe the president didn't show, but it must be within walking distance. Perhaps.
Unless, of course, he knows I'm here and is avoiding me.
Okay. So, again, what picture is this? Okay, we're back to Katsina. I can see a queue, and I don't know if the president is in that queue yet. Is that a tall gentleman in glasses with his hands in his pocket? That's not our president. No, that's not our president.
You say anything about the president, but he's not. Well, I'm not saying his man is sloppy, but the president stands out. Buhari stands out wherever he is.
President Buhari is an ex-soldier.
He's not the only ex-soldier. I think it's just him. There's some other ex-soldiers that do not stand upright. That thing they say that because an ex-soldier, I think is wrong. He's a person.
They say once a soldier, always a soldier. But I hear what you're saying. So we're expecting President Buhari here. He hasn't shown yet, but it's a nice mix of people here.
Yes, who are starting their own process. Yes,
you see
the man in green is doing his own process. He's going ahead. So they're not waiting for him. We are the one waiting for him.
Well, yes. INEC is there. Why the president is not there yet? Well, the president will arrive to a certain schedule. Yes. They would have known perhaps the exact minute the president will arrive.
Or they just wait.
And I don't know, unless the president insists, I don't know that the president wants to get there and join the end of the queue. You know what we do in Nigeria where somebody can go ahead of you and take a place for you in the queue? Yes. It happens in banks, it happens in supermarkets, it happens in houses of worship.
It's not common. It happens anywhere. It's just a human thing. You have people who can do it for you, but it's okay.
Who can
because the key thing, and this is important, we have to understand something about orderliness. Orderliness and queue is not to berate anybody. It's just to make sure that everybody gets their fair chance.
Exactly.
So if you get into a queue and somebody is waiting there for somebody else, as long as that person does not come and take your own spot. If the spot you make...
If it's a replacement.
Exactly.
You just replace the person and the person is out of the mix.
I have noticed that some Nigerians think the queue is to berate people. Nah. It's not about that. It's just about making sure everybody gets a fair shot.
And people
and the
have to
system is
learn
smooth.
that. Yeah, people just have to learn that the Q culture, they say, is not part of us. No. You're going to have to make it part of us.
You have to make it part.
You
It's
have to
not
make
part
it
of anybody. Nobody was born in a line. Not even the twins. They struggle. They separate them. It's something you learn. It's an acquired taste that will help. You know, nobody was there. It's not part of anybody. It's just that there are two things. One is incentive, and the other is punishment. So we get it.
Voting is underway in Katsina.
Yes,
the
indeed.
president will be showing there. I'm not going to say that the president might show. Of course, he is going to show.
Well, he's going to vote. He's expected to vote.
But now let's see if we can grab one or two. Let me try for update in Delta State. Ikenna Amechi in Delta State. Good morning to you, Ikenna.
Good morning.
Good morning. Aha, there you go.
I can
You're
hear
in
you loud
Delta
and clear.
State. Yes, the governor has just voted. Please continue. Give us a situation report.
Come. Please.
Okay. Yuri, you said what? You can come back with that again.
Go ahead and give us a situation report, please. We saw that the governor has just voted.
All right. Yes, the governor just exercised his franchise right here in Eguma Primary School, ward of Owalero in the North East local government area of the Delta State. And of course, what has been on is that the voting has been going on smoothly all across the state, and of course here voting started quite early. There have not been any hitches, no skirmishes of any kind in the state, and here that we are monitoring the election in this polling station where people are filing out to cast their vote, and we notice that there's a quite a considerable large turnout of electorates to exercise their franchise here, and all around the state we have been hearing of hitch-free poll going on everywhere, and mostly we have the governor actually saying that from what he has been seeing or hearing in other parts of the state, you know, where we have election going on, there have not been any issue whatsoever, whether from the INEC aspect of the BVAS, the biomodal verification accreditation system. There've not been any issue of any kind, and of course there've not been any security threats in any part of the state. The election has been going on smoothly, and voters are coming out happily to cast their vote for their preferred candidates. And of course we know that there are three candidates to cast their vote for the presidency, the House of the National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, and they are doing so in this Owalero, Ikasa Northeast local government area, and every other part of the state. Yuri.
Ikenna, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll be in touch with you again as the election progresses. Now we're going to have to leave it here in the nature of something of a relay. And Veronica Danipo, you will be taking over the anchor chair and with a fresh guest. Let me thank very much Professor Kila. Thank you very much, Professor Anthony Kila, for being with us in this particular session. You know, thank you very much, Prof. And so that's it. We'll, you know, as I leave, let me tell you, the president is actually about to arrive. There you go. I think, yeah. There you go. We're able to get that. The president is just about arriving.
I told you he was avoiding me.
Where is the president? But that's what we're hearing. He's on his way there. What we can't leave while the president is arriving. I'll be telling Veronica about it, why I held on for another 1 or 2 minutes. Because we're waiting on Mr. President who has arrived. That's Daura Katsina. We want to see Mr. President arrive.
Keep this place. Femi, don't wear leg, I dey do am, I dey do am. Hey, this guy don't block me. Ima! Femi, are they on us?
Okay, so now Mr. President has arrived, and it's beginning, as you can see. In fact, we're even getting news now that, Ashwaji Bola Tinubu might also, is also going to be shortly arriving at his polling unit. But here we are in Daura, Katsina, and that's Mr. President there. You could see the whole crowd, hailing the arrival of Mr. President. Sort of excited. And
and he's allowing his wife to vote before him.
Yeah, okay. Yes. The president is doing that gentlemanly thing.
That gentlemanly thing. So doing the ladies
he's
first.
Doing the ladies first thing. Yes. So we don't. Do you know that? Was that his wife? Was that Aisha?
Yes.
Okay.
I recognize Aisha. Yes.
Okay. So Mr. President will now follow. They did the
biometrics. Imply that he went to vote with another woman. Of course, it's his wife.
We took. The president can have more than one wife.
But fair enough, you won't go and vote with more than one wife.
No. So, looking at what we have here, the president, again, just like Mrs. Tinubu when we saw her in Lagos, waiting patiently. There seems to be a limit to the big manism that can go on at
a polling station. Exactly. There's no big manism.
Yes.
You see, that is the joy of digitalization.
Yes.
There's no space for big manism. It has to. It has to follow the process.
They're doing his biometrics.
Good. Recognized.
His iris has been captured.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, that's Mr. and Mrs. Buhari there.
Yeah, there they are.
Mrs. Buhari going before Mr. Buhari.
Yes.
And
so got in his
one
papers.
operation.
Yes. And this is not his usual.
It shows it's important. Yeah,
yes.
It's not dressed casually.
It's not dressed casually for it.
So it's the importance that the president attaches to it. He's dressed quite formally, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, very formally. And he's actually a very designed one. I think he's happy to go. He's happy to vote.
He said he's not interested in staying a day more beyond his constitutional tenure.
I suspect he waited up to this time because he had to.
And then earlier in Lagos, we were seeing Mrs. Tinubu. We're seeing Mr. and Mrs. Buhari together here.
Yes.
We didn't see Mr. and Mrs. Tinubu together.
Let's see, but I suspect they vote in different polling stations.
Yes,
let's find out.
Yes, everything will depend on where
the polling stations
registered.
Don't forget that Daura is a small place and not far from the port. Those who know Daura will know that this specific station is not too far from his residence. Where he goes. So
he probably walked
around
there.
Yes.
I don't know that Mrs. Tinubu was able to walk from her Bodlon residence all the way to Falomore, but she might have.
Well, she's done it before, so I won't be surprised.
She might have. Exactly. She might have. And then we expect after. Well, it depends on the time situation, because Tinubu, Bola Tinubu is also expected to be voting today. We just saw the president voting there.
I think he's not excited. I'm sure he's going to vote today.
He will be voting.
He will. I think he has a bit of interest on who's on the ballot paper today for one of the positions. So
there's no doubt who he will be
voting for. So I think he would go out to
also
vote.
the president. People might say there's no doubt, but you see, we don't know these things.
With the president, I'm not sure what this man is doing.
We don't know. We're just being technically correct.
Yes.
Everybody can say that they know.
Guess.
We know who Buhari is going to be voting for. But again, the technical point about it, say, how do you know? You're not in Buhari's mind.
Exactly.
But we saw him. We saw him at rallies. And we saw him,
He didn't dance, though.
Give us some sort of an indication. So actually, I'm overstaying my time a bit, but that's because we're expecting Bola Tinubu to also show up. Me and Tony, we've dragged ourselves. Look, we've eaten into the next team's,
into their time.
But this is very important. The president, all the flashlights going there, the president about to cast his vote, and since we now have a sort of a procedure, when they finish doing what they're doing over there, he will now go and drop it in the appropriate boxes, who he wants for the senator, who he wants for the House of Reps, and who he wants for the president. Aisha Buhari will do that. Muhammadu Buhari will also do that. We saw, in Lagos, Oluremi Tinubu do that as well, and Bola Tinubu will be doing it. If it's, we'll just wait here and see. But anyway you look at it, 25th of February.
Has started and it's going well.
And it is going well. And so how many more hours do we have to go? Well, on TVC, as long as it takes, we'll be here.
Yes.
One team will be handing over to her. Now, that's what I predicted.
It's going to happen.
Yes, there you go.
And that's the joy of a process, because you can easily
what the next
is
thing
going to happen. That is a system that works. So come around this way. They tell him, first one is for the president.
Okay, now the presidential.
He's doing what he shouldn't do. That he said he's doing it.
Should the president be showing us that thing?
He shouldn't be doing that.
Should he,
but he's doing it for naysayers like me. So that people like me will not say,
Mr. President, the other way around. Don't the other way around, Mr. President.
This is why I've always had a problem with this president. Okay.
Mr. President folded it on itself. How about Aisha? Aisha did the same.
Hey, this guy, put your camera down now.
Yes. Okay, interesting scene there. So, as I said, we're waiting on the next pictures because we're just figuring we've seen Oluremi Tinubu vote. Bola Tinubu, the candidate of the ruling APC, will also be in this, and we'll be seeing how it goes. Now the president is addressing the people there.
Yes.
The candidate I voted for, I already mentioned it in so many number of things. In Nasarawa, in Katsina, in Sokoto, all over the place. I mentioned my favorite candidate, and I believe my constituency will choose him 100%.
What is your advice to Nigerians as they await the announcement of the results?
Yes, Nigerians should make sure that they have been respected. That means the candidate they want to vote for, they are allowed to vote for him. It is a pity there is only one woman candidate in the governorship from Adamawa State. So the woman should kindly follow our APC president.
I can say that TVC does not want to incur the wrath of NBC at all.
We pulled it out. We pulled it out. It doesn't matter if you're a president, there are guidelines.
The fear of NBC is the beginning of wisdom. And I can see that.
You're not going to be able to say, well, that was the president. No.
The fine will let you know you can say that.
But it goes to show you the mind of the president. He's all enthusiastic about it. The president probably wasn't listening when we were giving us those admonitions of what you can do, what you can't do. But we've seen it. President and Mrs. Buhari have voted, and we are now waiting on the we're now waiting to see in Lagos how
The others
Bola
are gonna
Ahmed
vote.
Tinubu will be voting.
In the meantime, we know what happens when you have a regulator who is swift in action. What
do you
makes
know
people
what
behave
happened?
themselves. You can see that
Well, we were,
the fear of NBC.
No, it's not so much the
is
fear of
putting
NBC
TVs
as helping
is-
the president out. We were helping the president out. Yeah, let it be said. Go and write it, chalk it up for us. We were helping Mr. President out so that he wouldn't infringe any of those regulations. As soon as he wanted to go there, we pulled it out.
Pulled him out,
No,
not
sir,
to let him.
Sir, you can't
You're
do
not
that.
allowed to campaign
You
today.
can't campaign today.
Okay, fair enough.
In fact, funnily enough, the only person who's got it right so far is Atiku Abubakar.
Amazingly, yes,
Yeah.
he did well.
No campaigning.
And by the way, Mrs. Tinubu got it well as well.
And Mrs. Tinubu.
Yes,
yeah.
that's all, because she just said.
As for Okowa's
got loads.
Okowa was, he was Mr. Okowa. He was Governor Okowa. So that is what it is.
Okay. He got it wrong. But the other people adhered to it. So well done to Atiku, well done to Mrs. Tinubu. And Okowa, see you after class.
Now, this is probably, what picture is this? We're back to Daura. Is this Daura back?
Yes, he's going home. Yes,
The president is on the way
voting.
back home.
He's going to clinch his fist at some point and goes away.
It's like...
That's it. That's the fist clinched it.
Now this rise are help us.
If there is security there, maybe they're mostly plainclothes because you didn't see the place just, swarming.
No, they're ahead. What they've done, normally they do a kind of cordon around him and they go there. And hopefully these young children have just come to see the president, not to come and vote.
No, those are young school children. You see, you can't vote anymore.
With
this kind of people voting.
Yes.
It used to happen in the past. Those were the days when Mike Tyson was on the ballot, and all sorts of children were also on the ballot. But those days are long gone. INEC has moved past that.
Fingers crossed. Let's hope you're right. So
in as much as the big wigs have begun to vote,
yes.
we were hoping, the word we had was that we might be able to see Tinubu vote as well. But we're here, whatever be the case. Where are we back at now? This is Ikeja.
Yes.
This is an Ikeja unit, and I think this is where Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
This is where he votes. In Alausa, yes, behind it. That's why.
Yes. So he's on his way to cast his vote. Yes. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the candidate of the ruling party. Yes. So he'll be arriving shortly. He's on his way.
Yes. Yeah, they're starting.
Interesting what happened where Mrs. Tinubu was registered over there at Falomo, and Mr. Tinubu is registered here in Ikeja.
Yes.
As we say, arriving any moment.
Yes. He's kept his address of his former office in Alausa.
Exactly. That's what happened.
That's what happened, yes.
You go back to the venue of the Ikeja there, the place at Ikeja. That's where he's conducted all of his
elections. Yeah. And this thing, say what you want, people are superstitious. Since it's one day, we won't want to change it. It's part of the reason. No, honestly. There are little things like that factor.
Okay, these are live pictures
now. There you go, yes.
These are live pictures.
That is him making
I believe he's walking. Yeah, I think I see him. He's in blue somewhere.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, that's him in that, what is that blue? Is it a cobalt blue or whatever ladies call it?
I am colorblind. Don't try me. I just know it's
there
blue.
He is in a blue kaftan.
Yes.
Now he's been joined up by Mrs. Tinubu.
Yes, indeed.
He's been joined up by Mrs. Tinubu. I could see there. So that's Oluremi Tinubu right next to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Both of them making their way to, the venue that we showed you earlier, where they are waiting them. Oh, that was Oh, well, maybe it was a signal thing.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah.
I don't know, but
Come back, he's on his way.
All depends on how far away, because we got a live picture of the venue, and then we got a live picture of
him
the senator.
there. No, he's not too far away. It's about roughly about 300 meters.
Well,
walk.
Okay.
To
300 meters in that kind of a crowd will take a bit of time, but yes, you see now, they've gone back to...
Yeah.
Okay.
The signal, but don't worry,
the signal is dashing in and out.
Yes.
But there's Bola Tinubu and Senator Oluremi Tinubu, his darling wife, both of them making their way
to the state.
The venue where Senator... well, yeah, there's a sense in which you can call Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
Yeah, he was the senator. That was his first elective post, yes.
But it's too much. You know, there's Alhaji, there's Senator, there's Asiwaju, then Bola Tinubu. So we just cut everything to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
You got into one. Fair enough. I'm sure you're free to do whatever you want to do. Well, his name is a public figure, so it's accepted.
Exactly.
There you go.
So you can see it's not that easy. He would have made better progress if the crowd wasn't as not exactly
He's coming to polling unit 85 here in Alausa, Ikeja, Sunday at Digun, and that is where he's going to cast his ballot. He's very close. He's very close. He's here already. As we can see in the visuals, it's been crowded. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is here now. We just left the venue where the wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, casted, where he exercised his franchise.
Okay, that's Sheon Kimberly, Abi, in that looking like glasses. There. That's what I was telling you. That white...
because it's low for them.
Well, that white thing. But, you know, it was translucent and, photography, you know, it gives you an even light, but it was horrible. That was a cameraman's nightmare, as I was saying, because the man was coming on, we were seeing him, and then he entered onto the... Now we're in there.
Okay.
Now we're in there. Okay. But you see, look at all those people that are there.
Yes.
But they probably give way to...
Yeah, he has found his way. Because he's with the INEC people already. To them straight away. So 3 steps.
Because he's not the only person that's going to vote there. So he's going to want to make it easier for the rest of the people voting there.
Yeah. No, but he's been attended to now.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think the earlier he votes and it goes away, the better for everybody.
Processes and procedures about if you don't have anything to do with the voting, you shouldn't be around that area.
Yes, it ought to be so, but I think it will be difficult.
Allowances can be made.
Yes, it will be difficult to really get people.
If you look at all of them,
yes.
Look, when the president came, look at the crowd that came with him. Atiku came, look at the crowd that came with him. You know, Kowa, look at the crowd that came with him. So
it's not good, but it's understandable because there was a direction saying that they were not allowed to come with their aides.
Yes.
But the problem is, if they didn't come with their aides, I don't know how they're going to manage this. So we have to be pragmatic about those rules.
Okay. So we're going through the steps that we've seen by now.
Yes.
Most people are familiar with these steps.
Index fingers first.
Yes, they'll take their thumbprints.
Yes, and then, sorry, the finger check, then the eyes check, voting, and submission of ballot papers.
The way we've been seeing it going, it might take anything up to 10 minutes for Ashwaju to get to the place where he actually is now dropping his ballot paper into the boxes. And that's if it is smart. And then after that, he's going to have to say one or two words.
To make a declaration.
To the
no, I think it will be faster because the real delaying thing in the crowd is before he starts that accreditation process. Once he does it, it's in the channel, it's in the what you call, quote unquote, the INEC channel, and the whole thing just goes.
And going back to when we saw Oluremi Tinubu, Senator Oluremi Tinubu vote, she had reported afterwards that it was cool.
It was cool, exactly. Once you enter the INEC channel, everything is fine.
Yes, and it's good that we saw that example. That look, if the thumbprint, the card reader, the thumb thing, it might fail, but yes, no problem. We saw them take a picture. Iris was good. Yes. She was still able to vote.
Because that's actually the mail. That one is scanned.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the thumbprint.
Yeah, no, the iris thing.
Oh, the iris thing
is scanned, and it clicks something like
verified. In fact, I think it works on the same principle as some of phones now.
Of one of the phones, when you use your Face ID.
Exactly, Face ID. Yes, it will be reading your iris, and since no two are exactly identical. So 25th of February, first election day proper, voting started at 8:30. Voting was supposed to start at 8:30. There were one or two places where we were still waiting for INEC, but then there were also other places where it started on the nose, 8:30 on the nose. Bola Tinubu undergoing accreditation, as we helpfully inform you, in case you're wondering what's going on with all of this crowd. And there are people like that.
You really cannot do you can't do that. It's different. You can't do away with that.
He's a different person. And we saw it with the president. We've seen it with Tinubu. Yes. These are different people. We saw it with Atiku.
Atiku as well. Yes.
Even Okowa was saying, people, please, I want you to give me more space.
Amazingly, Okowa did that well because he got the space thing away from me.
But after doing that very well,
it's the talking that he did badly.
Then he went elsewhere.
He went to scare TVC people.
No, you see, what we do here is we look to help on TVC. We look to help. If anybody is, stepping outside of the line, it's possible that we'll quickly, swipe away from them. Say, no, don't let there be evidence that you were actually infringing. But no, these people didn't know. There's Mrs. Tinubu.
Yes.
What's she doing? She was assisting in some way.
Yes.
But the important thing is the picture that everybody wanted to see, people who are around, that is. They wanted to see Tinubu go to vote because it's become it's become a right now for them to see that they're chosen, whoever they have chosen.
Yes.
So people, that went with Atiku would have been happy to see him. Well, the president is not. He's out of the picture now.
Yeah,
but still.
Okay, so they're creating. What happened? They don't have a proper booth for him.
Okay. That's a portable.
Yes, that's a portable booth.
A very portable little booth. It's different from the one that Mrs. Tinubu used,
where you walk in,
where you can't. You're not even walking into that. It just shields you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We can see half of your body outside, but we can't see the essential, which is where you happen to be printing.
Yes.
Apart from the fact that the president then came out and showed
his own thing. I think that portable is fine because you put it on any table and you're good to go.
Yes.
To vote in there.
But you can't do that for everybody. So understandably, you can't do that for everybody.
The president was just being impy, showing that thing he did. Like I'm going to speak to some people close to him. I don't know why.
No, it's just one of those things.
Small moment.
It's like that's what the crowd was waiting for him to come and do.
And the crowd enjoyed it.
And so I have done it, and this is what I have done. Hopefully people couldn't see exactly who he voted for, even though people might have a guess. Nobody else did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is it.
This is back to the Tinubus.
Yes.
What are we waiting for now? Okay, they're processing something
the box,
Tinubu
the ballot, The cabin. The portable cabin is what they're processing.
Well, yeah, they just gave him this little sort of a shield. So, you know, you remember, it was a portable kind of a shield.
Let's be honest with ourselves. There's something wrong if you are in charge of the polling booth where somebody like Tinubu is coming to vote and you didn't get the whole thing right. Because surely you know the press, the eyes of the world is going to be on you.
Yes.
This is what I said about 7 years ago when the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, could not vote.
Yeah, the candidate
Yes.
of the APC has his forms there, has his ballot papers
Yes, they're
there.
trying to install the voting cabin. The mobile thing is crashed.
I think now that it's thumbprinted,
Yes.
it's about putting it in the right boxes.
Yes.
That whole shield, that half shield sort of a thing, was just a
Did
bit
not
of
stand.
privacy.
Are we sure it's thumbprinted at all? I don't think he has. I think that's what they want to create for him to do it.
Let's see. But the important thing, as you just said, is that all eyes will be on you.
All eyes will be on you. So if you're in
I
charge
don't
of
know
that
what
position,
what INEC
they
was
should have
thinking.
done an extra thing. It's not the first time this has happened in other elections. So this is not the fault of INEC generally. These are individuals in their substations
who are in
not
charge and
taking
needed to
extra
have
preparation.
planned in a particular
yes,
kind of
let's
a
be
way.
frank about it. If you have a special event,
They
you
should have
make
expected that
special
this is the kind
preparation.
of crowd that is going to follow Tinubu.
Exactly.
And know the
This thing should be
implications of
rehearsed.
that.
Yes.
And move accordingly. After all, it wasn't like that where Mrs. Tinubu voted.
Exactly.
That was a straightforward.
And it wasn't where Atiku voted as well. It was pretty straightforward.
Exactly.
No, it's just, I mean, errors can happen. You know, sometimes machine will crumble, but the whole point is that if you have a special case, you should make you should take extra care just to make sure everything is well done. But then again, with machines, you never can tell. The thing might just decide to crumble when it has never crumbled before.
We don't even know what has happened right now. But we do know that the
Well, we
crowd,
see they're struggling with the boot.
But that is not a machine. So we don't know what exactly is going on. We've seen that, but probably, look at that crowd. They had this portable, flimsy-looking booth, and there's that whole crowd there. It's
Maybe
not
they
the most
pushed
rigid
it.
of structures,
No.
to be fair.
Yeah.
But whatever, they were trying to do something to sort of have some sort of a temporary measure. I think Tinubu is the only person that I don't imagine. Okay,
That's it.
Okay,
The thing is standing
you
out,
see,
almost.
what is the purpose of all of this?
God.
Is this to shield from the
from
prying
from the
camera
prying
lenses?
Yes.
What exactly is going on?
I don't think they should bother because there's no secret who Tinubu is voting for, especially for president. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not Yuri Folani, who's all technical.
Don't forget that.
I'm not under the thing of Yuri Folani. It's all technical.
Forget that we said,
and it's so proper.
We don't know.
And it's so correct.
We don't know
who is voting for.
He is voting for.
I do.
We
and
can
I take
only guess.
responsibility. I do.
In fact, he would be remiss if he didn't vote
exactly.
for.
So I don't know.
So I guess we're just trying to be,
exactly.
politically correct. We're sure that
I can, feel
Tinubu
the
is voting
pressure of
for
those
Tinubu.
poor young people, all those things happening to them, how nervous they will be.
Okay,
It's done.
You're right. That's
that's
structure.
Yeah,
that's
that's what gives them the
that
problem.
we saw Mrs. Tinubu use there.
Yeah.
We were at the Falomor
Yes.
center that she used.
Yeah.
Now she's watching her husband go through
the process as well.
process himself.
Oh, look at that poor lady.
Which poor lady?
One of the organizers, one of the hosts. She's really mortified that this thing happened there. It happened, really. The voice from them.
You can see the lighting has adjusted in there.
Yes.
So this crowd is small. There are people there from all over the country.
Yes,
That much I
indeed.
can assure
Actually,
you.
because
It's
the
not
work,
just from
because I see
Ikeja.
some of the
Exactly.
observers there.
It's not just from Ikeja area.
Yes,
there are
that's-
people there from all over the country.
I've come to
such
stay
is the
with him,
nature of this particular candidate. So we can understand that. As soon as he's through with all of that, he'll say a few words. Mr. President said a few words. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said a few words. So there's no how Bola Tinubu, Ashwaju Tinubu will not be saying a few words, both to the crowd there and also to those at home. Where are we now in terms of...
I think he's
where's the time? Where he needs the space for those 3 boxes, for us to see him put it in those 3 boxes. But you can see how he's being crowded by cameras and well-wishers and assistants, supporters, everybody. Everybody just wants to be in the picture that Tinubu is making by casting his vote in the 2023 presidential election. Bola Tinubu casts his vote. I think, yeah,
he's done it now.
He's done. He's done.
I was trying to get space out.
Now he needs space. They're going to take that thing away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's moving out of the canopy.
So he has to put it in the boxes, and then he has to say a few words to us. That much is our right, because we're going to be quoting that. Well, we've heard it from everybody else, and then we've heard it from everybody else.
You keep saying it's your right to listen, forgetting that it is right not to say a word.
No. He's not allowed to not say a word. He's not allowed to.
This is the kind of responsibility.
Look at the crowd.
So what? They can just go away.
Eh?
Sometimes silence is a better strategy in communication. He doesn't have to speak, honestly.
Okay.
He could just wave and go away, and that is it. Let others speak.
Okay, you say so.
But no, I'm not saying he's going to do that.
No, because
he could do that.
If you were to bet
You're
it,
just not
you'd
happy.
lose money. You'd lose
You're
money.
just not happy. You want him to speak. That's the truth of the matter.
No.
And you're churning over this thing.
If you were to bet so, you'd be losing money because he's going to say something. In fact, that's the reason we're waiting here, that let's see him vote. And then let's see, just complete the process along the same lines of what we have seen in 3 or 4 other places. So it's all done now. Tinubu has voted. Senator Oluremi Tinubu voted. Ashwaji Bola Tinubu has also voted. And on this particular section of the program, we also saw Alhaji Atiku Abubakar vote. We saw Governor Okowa vote. Who else? Those are
so far, those are the contenders.
Yes, those are the contenders.
Well, whilst we're at it, we also saw Mrs. Buhari vote.
Mrs. Buhari as well. President
vote,
and Mrs. Buhari, we saw them vote. And so, as I said, it's the guys who are the anchor teams that are coming after us that are really going to, get the teeth into it, because the pictures now, at that time, the whole process will be at its height. There will be long queues.
You are the forerunner. You are like the John the Baptist.
Sort of. Prisoners, look at how they dragged that man out of the way. Okay, I think yes, he himself looked like an aide, but you see how they just dragged him up. I think they're trying to find a place where Tinubu will get a chance to just say a few words. I don't know, but he's clearly on the way out. He's clearly no. As you said, I'll concede
you hope so.
I'll concede to you. He doesn't need to.
I'm conceding to you too.
Look, you said that he could just go away and say, "I'm not saying anything." Indeed, he could, but he's on the way out.
Yes.
As soon as the pictures are stable, I'm sure we'll see that.
We'll see where he was.
We just want to tidy things up. Tinubu arrived in our presence. He should be living in our presence too. Yeah, you can.
Now he's going to speak. Especially dedicated to you, Kola, in this speech.
Come on. I'm not saying anything. I'm not encouraging you, Tony. I'm not saying anything. Okay.
dear.
As soon as the picture settles there, we'll be able to hear from them, and that will probably sort of wrap up this segment of the program. But the Decision 2023 studio is open, has been open from 6 o'clock, and will be open right through till tomorrow, if necessary. It probably will be necessary. INEC has said that it's going to be in a it'll be very timely in the way it puts out the results. That might be anytime tomorrow. I don't think we can expect today. No, that's not going to happen.
No,
but tomorrow, worst case, the best case scenario probably is that,
early.
Maybe late morning,
tomorrow, yeah.
either early or late morning, but tomorrow, because
late tomorrow night.
Because the chairman of INEC has said that it's going to be better than the previous time. And the previous time, the last general election we had, it took over 2 days.
Yes.
But now it's probably going to take under 2 days, maybe just today and then tomorrow. That at least is just that the president
and free people from their tension.
Free them from all this anxiety. But as the chairman of INEC said, I'm not able to pinpoint exactly how many hours or anything like that, but it will be very, very timely.
But that's a smart move, because people like you will then go and remind them.
We will.
But you said...
Well, while they're settling down here, I think we have a live view of Kano as well. Let's see what's going on live in Kano. We'll cut back to Lagos as soon as the pictures settle. But for the moment, in Kano, live. Or not? Back to Lagos.
We are confident we shall deliver Nigeria. Since the beginning of the rally and
the audio stream didn't quite work the way we had wanted it to, but no doubt you will be getting that audio later on. And there are those who were recording that audio live at the venue, so you'll be hearing about it. But the important thing is that we did see Bola Tinubu cast his vote, and then we had seen his wife do the same. And we'd also seen a number of other front-runners cast their votes as well.
Country. I am for that. I suffered for it. I fought for it. And it's taking place. I have to be happy. We have to celebrate it. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Well, there you go. The president has said thank you. I mean, I'm not the president. The presidential candidate of APC has, said, thank you. That means he's out of there. So again, Anthony Kila, thank you very much, as always. I said that half an hour ago, and then I got news that Tinubu will be coming to this place. I said, okay, let's wait. Let's be tidy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And happy voting day to everybody.
Indeed. You still going to be voting later on today?
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
On my way now. Yes.
Okay. So I hand you over to the next, as it were, anchor in this relay, and that is going to, they will take it from from here. Veronica Danipoyi will be taking it from here with her guests, and then she'll be handing over to the next, as I said, for as long as it takes. Bye-bye for now.